Absolutely.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Third Space Podcast. I'm here with my buddy and best bro in the whole wide world, Brian Boucher of Midstate CrossFit. My name is Wes Pye of Coast Range CrossFit, and this is episode number 17. I don't even know if you knew that. I just figured that out yesterday when I was making thumbnails and doing all these things and creating Instagram reels and stuff. And today we're going to be talking about a few things: connecting with our members outside of the gym. We only got an hour with them. How do we get into their heads and keep them thinking the right things for the other 23 hours? We're going to be talking about how to work on the business instead of in the business. And we're going to go over ways to connect with other affiliate owners, not just through competition. So, not just reaching out, hey, we got a competition, you guys come over and give us some money, but actually
Right.
creating a relationship with people. And then we might get into some of my favorite new topic that we've been doing, the things that really grind my gears, Lois. So let's kick it off with the working on the business and not in it, Brian.
So, just spitting knowledge bombs stolen from other people. I was speaking with being led through a conversation with Jason Ackerman out of Philly University, and he was talking about maker time versus manager time. And I wanted to have some personal reflection on this podcast about how I'm pretty okay at one and absolutely suck at the other, and some of the things I've been doing to try to do a better job working for the business. So,
You said,
maker
yeah, maker's time versus what?
manager's time.
Manager's time. Love
So maker's time. This is the one I'm not great at because I have ADD
it. Me too.
and I don't stay on things long enough usually to pierce it all out. So a maker's time is a block of time, 3 to 4 hours, in which you're going to do meaningful work. You're going to actually do the thing. This could be something like website design, or this could be artwork stuff, or this could be building systems so that you could hand off a project to somebody else. So this is like that you do this step, then you do this step, then you do this step, and then refining that process. And that takes a little bit of sit down, think it through,
Mm-hmm.
create something, make
Mm-hmm.
something, and then see if that thing works. Come back to it on another block of time, refine that. Now you've done 8 hours of work on a particular thing. For example, I think we're going to be using Trainerize to do some personal training, nutritional training, mindset training that doesn't include the 1 hour. So we're going to create some sort of premium service in which you get more of the mentorship from the coaching staff. You could sign a mentor where nutritional coach certified, mindset stuff, books. You're really getting into the weeds with somebody holistically.
What did you call
Like
it? Trainer I?
Trainerize
What's
is
that?
it's an application. It is there's some free aspects to it, but you can use it to create personal training models, nutritional models, so that if you had a nutritional client, they could put your macros in there. You could make videos to them, personalizing their
And is it
things.
any different than True Coach?
No, I think it's a competitor. I might use,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah, very much, very similar.
I was just say
Um,
it sounds a lot like True Coach. I'm gonna check it out though. That's awesome, man.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's it, right? Like, how do we keep ourselves inside of their heads, like outside of the business, and doing things like this by, working on your website, member retention, reaching out to them, asking them how they're doing, like getting feedback from them, sending out blog posts of like specific things that they may be thinking about. Is all you making these little touch points outside of that hour, which we'll get to in a second. I love that.
Yeah, there's a level of creativity I think that is low hanging fruit for most affiliate owners, in which they can start to even just a white paper written about, I don't know, sleep or recovery, in which you're the affiliate owner by de facto. If you're doing this, in my opinion, the right way, you are a subject matter expert. You're the cult leader. You should be putting out creative and well timed material that keeps people engaged in your affiliate, aka your community center, aka your brand. It's that's my opinion.
When you say creative and well timed, That's the part I struggle with the most is the well timed. I don't know what's too early, what's too late. When is the perfect time to, let's say for your competition, we have one coming up in November, for example. Is it 6 months out? Is it a year out? Is it 2 months out? Or is it just based off of your affiliate?
I have really liked the quote of you have to tell somebody 7 times for them to hear it once. So
Where's that from?
I don't know. I don't know. And but I quote somebody, whoever said it, go that human being. The answer to the world's most vexing problems is 42. I don't know. That's not the right quote, and so that's how my brain works. Um,
Is
and
42.
yeah, the answer to life is
That's all it is.
yeah. That's all it is.
7 times before they hear it once. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's
So
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 true.
so,
So then
so
you think
science,
about what is the intervals that are too much for somebody or not enough.
yeah. The answer is seven
Like,
to one. So when
so,
you finally think that you have said something enough, you're probably there, and that means that the person that wasn't listening heard it once. Yes, you'll have your attentive people that heard it 7 times, but they are much rarer than telling people to drink 100 ounces, aka 3 liters of water daily at your whiteboard brief every day for a month, and then on the fourth week now somebody's like, hey, I finally drank 100 ounces of water and I'm peeing a lot, but gosh, I feel pretty okay, like my aches and pains. It's okay,
yeah.
you're not
My knees
dehydrated.
feel good. Yeah.
Yes. You're not dehydrated. You don't have brain fog. Like, you don't have a caffeine addiction. You're dehydrated.
So you're spending 3 to 4 hours working on the systems, that kind of stuff. And then you said you're going
Something.
back in and refining this for a few
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah. Depending
This
on the
sounds a
product,
lot like Chris Cooper. Uh, uh, what's his business?
the 4 hour day or something like that.
Chris Cooper?
No, I don't know. I'll have to look up Chris Cooper.
Chris Cooper's he was affiliated with CrossFit for a little bit, and he was doing basically what Best Hour of Their Days doing, kind of. And it
Yeah.
was he came out with a book. Oh my God, why am I blanking on this? Like he's Chris Cooper, and anyways, he talks about that all the time. That it's like you need to constantly, every single day, do, I think he said like 3 things. Refine a system. So go in, look at a system you have written out, and make sure it's still up to date. Make sure it's still the way you want it done, because you should have a lot of systems that are written out to take care of your gym. And he says, like, every day, wake up, refine one system, reach out to 3 members, and I can't remember what the other one was, but that was huge. He always said that constantly, was make sure you refine your systems, constantly going back in. What does that look like for you?
It usually looks like 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. It usually looks like five. If I'm not coaching the 5:30 a.m. class, I'll still wake up. Today I slept in. It was glorious. It was
Mhm.
so wonderful.
Yeah, your text message to me, I was like, wait, what? What does that
Yeah.
mean? I was like, you were like, at tonight, later, bye.
I was. I
I just double clicked and hit question mark. Like, I
yeah.
don't know what that means, but okay,
Yeah.
I hope you're okay. Either having a stroke or I'll see you later.
Yeah. He'll be there. He'll be there. But otherwise, it's about 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. is deep work, and then it might have to start a little bit early. It might have to end a little bit early, depending on the school year and the kids, and yada yada. Making people's breakfasts or whatnot. But that's where I'm
Mhm.
going to get most of my good work in. Then there's this thing called manager work, which is a little bit more of what you said, where it's like I want to reach out to 3 people. I want to get with the people. I want to see if the bathrooms are clean. I'm going to hit this meeting. We're going to do a drive by with like all the members at the 3:30
Mm.
class. And those are like
So I
that's
was more talking like from a general manager role, not an actual business owner role, which tells you exactly where I sit in my business.
yeah,
Right in it
yeah,
all the time. And I
yeah,
love it though. That's the problem I have with these things, man. And why honestly I haven't joined Best Hour of Their Day is because I don't believe in a lot of the things they say.
yeah,
And
yeah,
but I believe in a ton of the stuff they say too. And it's just that. It's the fact that like I'm trying to think of the best way to put this, but I think that you can be unique in your ability to coach a shitload of classes every day and not get burned out because this thing actually fills you up. That's me. And everybody I've always heard from the start of time, 2 classes. all you can. I love that. I love that. And I'm going to do that now because all I got to do is this apparently. Let's try it again. You ready?
2 classes.
Oh, that's it. That's the signal. Okay, we got to do the peace sign. Um, they're like, if you give everything you have, you can only do 2 classes and then you're done. And honestly, if I look at my Whoop, it says the same thing. It says, I just worked out. I worked out again. I worked out again. I worked out again. But bro, the way I feel after yesterday. So yesterday I had 5:30 a.m., 7 a.m., 8:30 a.m., 10 a.m. I had a PT client between that. I had noon. I had another PT client right after that, and then I stayed until 5 o'clock cleaning the gym. I don't want to do anything else. I'm a freak and I get it, and I'm unique and I get it, but I think I'm also one of those people that's willing to go like, okay, that's not true. Let's try it. Let's see if we could develop a way where coaches can actually do this more hours of the day and enjoy it and find a way to get through it, you know? That's just one example, and I'm not saying like everything they say. I'm just saying like I watch some stuff and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I agree with that. But that could also be the thing that's keeping me working in the business, I guess. But then I go, I love working in the business.
Yeah.
I
So,
don't, I
but
love
you
it.
struggle. But you struggle going back just a little while ago to
Yeah,
how when should I communicate? How often should I communicate? All of that comes with like
yeah, yeah,
in- introspection, and then the ability to step away, hide in the office, look at like, okay, so last year we started promoting the Unity games 8 weeks out. Okay, well, what if I can find a way to measure what it would have been like if I do 12 weeks out, or maybe it,
yeah.
like, and then like maybe it's 16 weeks out, basing off this
Yeah,
70.
last year we did like 4 months out, and it was like everybody was like, "Whoa, Wes is on
Yeah,
it,"
yeah. But like,
which means that
but
I'm
that
normally not.
most people have their calendars set about 90 days before they do anything particular.
And where did you get that from? Like, is that just like what
That's
you've heard,
that's
or
that's like some sort of business thing. Like
same idea of like the 7 to 1?
right, everybody
Yeah.
wants to know what their school year looks like between September and May, or August and May. Everybody kind of wants to know what all of summer is going to look like. What concerts are we going to go to? Where are we going to go somewhere? Do you want to go to the beach? Do you want to go to
Mm.
Tahoe? Like those things get found out about 90 days in advance. Uh, there's like the there's like the 777 rule for dating. Like every 7 days, you should do like something small. Every 7 weeks, you do something a little bit bigger, like a day out. Every 7 months, you should do something bigger still that is, uh, filling your cup. And then the way that works out is one time per year, once every 7 months, you're going to do something nice. You could fall onto like a January, September thing, but or whatever that is, January and August thing. But most of the time, you're going to have like this 7 month block where you're doing something specific with your spouse. Seven, seven, something, seven, something small, seven, something big, seven, get away from your environment.
Oh, that kind of
Now,
takes
but
us into like,
as well, do I do a good job with this? Fuck no, absolutely not. I fuck up shit all the time.
but that's my thing, man. It's like I don't know if it's like you're effing it up or if you're actually just like doing what gives you like what fills your
Yeah,
passion bucket in a way, you know? And you're like, and do we uh, are we natural as human beings to overdo the things that make us feel good? Yes, of course
right.
we are. That is what we do. And do I overdo it in the gym and then I'm, kind of drained of energy later? Yes, of course I do, 100%. But I also am like, I just want to have a life where that's totally fine because there's
Yeah,
no reason why it's not fine. I'm not doing that in a job I hate, coming home and being a jerk. I'm not doing that, to like make a bunch of money and everybody else is getting the short end of the stick. It's like I am doing that for the sole purpose of making people live longer, healthier, and happier lives. Like, and if there is one thing that I could say that every single person on this earth should be doing, it's that.
what happens, I think, to a lot of people, and I think this happens to affiliate owners too sometimes, is they think what they thought was going to be their passion when they're 25 is not their passion when they're 45. They've gone.
Yeah, yeah.
I've personally experienced that, like through my first responder career, where it's like I don't want
Mm,
to this pays the bills, this has insurance, I have a 401k, like this is I work theoretically 7 times per month. Like that doesn't seem like such a bad job, right? But then I just wouldn't want to be, and if I don't want to be there, then now I'm going to be a shitty version of myself while I'm there. I'm going to at the time neglect my affiliate while
That's a
I'm
big
not.
one.
And so, like at some point in time, I had to be like, all right, well, I quit because I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket. Now, I did coach, I don't know, 3 classes yesterday. I coached
Hmm.
3 classes yesterday. I've probably coached more this week than I have recently. And it feels good. It feels good. We got a coaches meeting coming up tonight. We're going to talk about some coaching development stuff. We're going to revamp. I'll give you a for example of like, hey, this isn't working. We needed to make an adjustment. Uh, we're going to change our format for our coaches meeting. It's been a very, very administrative lately. Like, hey, this is all the stuff that's going on. These are the under behind. These are the behind, and I don't know if they're landing right. I don't know if
Mm.
people are getting what they want from that. So I'm going
Yeah,
to be.
I struggle with that all the time.
So I'm going to remove like a bunch of administrative information. We're not going to talk about race and health. We're not going to talk about our CRC program. We're
Just
barely
get
going
them
to talk.
better.
Yeah, we're just going to talk coaching. We're going to jump
Yeah.
right into, hey, so tonight's coaches meeting, speaking on like sitting with my systems quietly by myself and making adjustments based on some variables I see and don't see. We're going to talk whiteboard brief. We're going to talk timeline, and then we're going to talk common themes of uh, movement faults, and that's it.
You want to
That's
go
all
over them?
we can.
Let's do
Got
it.
midline stability, active shoulder, line of action, depth, and I'm missing one. All right, I'm missing one. Line of action, active shoulders, midline stability, weight and heels, and
Sound. Heh.
what is
Sound. Heh. Function.
oh
Sound. Heh.
sound
Function.
right?
Dude, good job, man.
I was
Heck
not gonna.
yeah.
It happens to me all the time. The carousel effect.
Nice.
I never.
Heck
That's why I
yeah.
got these because I always left one hanging fruit.
Dude, always, man. That was me too, brother. I think it has something to do with the
Or
ADHD,
fifth
but it's
of
all
the
good.
way there. You know what I mean? Hey, babe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let's kind of keep this going into the connecting with because I think it's just goes really well into connecting with the other members 23 hours outside of the day. It's like if you take this time, these 3 to 4 hours in the morning that you do, 5 to 8 a.m., to work on the business and not in the business, this gives you the opportunity to connect with these people the other 23 hours outside of the day. How do you spend those hours of the morning making sure that the things you're doing are doing exactly that, connecting with those members?
So I'm going to be working on this new system where I have week blocks where I pay attention to something. I feel like sometimes I'm losing things because I can't do them all in a week. So I think we're gonna like focus on hard internal like administrative work 1 week, and then we're not going to touch that again. We're going to table that for another 4 weeks, and we're just going to let that play itself out.
Wait,
And
one
then
more
the
time. Say it again.
okay,
Go
so
ahead.
I'm
Sorry.
playing with the idea of making my month into 4 separate focus initiatives. So the one
Like
would
blocks.
yeah, like blocks. And
Got it.
so one, week one, just for example, would be like the administrative work, right? It's the beginning of the month. Anybody's like cards were expired. All right, I
Mm-hmm.
gotta like see what our budget's looking like. Like, hey, is everything gonna be okay in regards to paying all the bills? Like what that week. Then the
Money.
next would be people where I'm communicating with all my athletes. I have a pretty significant system with the like 180-day journey and our forever athlete, and I plainly just want to talk to my athletes. Like if I but that gives me a week to get through all of or as many of my athlete wins. Maybe my at-risk athletes where I'm just like, hey, like I can't save your life. I can't help you save your own life if you're not in here. I can dedicate all that time to like the
Just
second.
grab my hand.
Right. I'm doing that type of thing all the time, reaching out and telling people to get back on the boat because you love this, but motivation's a flaky bitch. And then week
Well,
three, and
I had a talk with somebody the other day about this. I think that motivation is not the feeling of motivation. Motivation is when you feel like crap and you do it and you get to reap the rewards of it afterwards. And we feel like motivation should be the good feeling. I think motivation is actually the bad feeling that tells you to get going so you have the good feeling. And if we could switch our mindset to that, it's like, I don't want to work out. It's like, well, that's motivation. And also, you create this new neural network inside of your brain of the word motivation actually is associated with discomfort, and you should go get it.
Yeah, yep. This is the key. This is a self
That's
responsibility.
it.
And then you're hitting them from advocacy and mentorship by being like, hey, mindset shift, mindset shift. Do you think the mind just shifts? Because that's not how the subconscious works. And so like, and but these are the examples. That's
So,
just
what
a
would
couple.
be like? You had like week one was the budget, week two is like people, week three,
Maybe it's raising health, maybe it's the CBRC program, maybe
like
this is
events or something.
three is when we, instead of having the internal customers, now we're doing external customers. All right, I've got half a month left. We can still like people that are on the fence, work with leads, call other affiliates, see how they're doing, take them out to coffee, you know, do podcasts with them, whatever.
Yeah. Stop by, give them stickers.
Yeah,
All
stop
sorts of
by.
stuff. I
Like
was just looking for
how
a sticker if I had it on one of these. I do.
yeah,
Look at that.
how
Look
far
at
would it go?
that.
Exactly. How far did that go? Like just by just being
Every single
friendly.
time I look at this, every single
Yeah.
time I look at this sticker, I'm reminded of what you did. You drove hours to come hang out with me and say hi and drop off a flyer, and you brought this. I think that was an important thing is that you brought something that is staying with the person. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like for example, if you go get coffee with somebody, every time they go past that coffee shop, they're going to be reminded of that time you did that with them. And it's like these spaces, these things, these tactile things that we do with people that create the connections that last. That's what we're
Right.
trying to do with our members, with affiliate owners, all that.
Because
So
there's no way that you can improve one person's mental health with an hour. Like, yes, exercise is incredibly valuable, but what's really going to get them from a physiological adaptation to a psychological adaptation is you giving a fuck. like like they came to you with a problem, and the
yeah.
problem is really hard to quantify. Is it morbid obesity? Okay, great. How do you think they got there? It's not just all David Goggins inside that person's brain, right? They're not just carrying the boats. No, they need you need
Who's gonna carry the boats?
we need to teach them in a soft and kind way for some, or a little bit heavy handed on other. And you need to have the emotional intelligence as the leader to, as the affiliate owner, as the manager, to be like, okay, this person is going to need a softer touch, but what they're going to need more consistent touches.
Yeah.
This person does not need me to tell them pleasantries. They will think I'm a weirdo. What they need is maybe a little bit more technical savviness because I'm in the books learning about hip function, for example, on a common theme. And now you're telling them for the first time not only that you want their feet wider, but why you actually wanted that to happen in the first place.
Yeah, the
Now,
knowledge. You got to give them the knowledge.
right. So now you're looking like a subject matter expert, which brings you back to maker's time, where you need to dive into your own education. Maybe it's not the next gymnastics course or aerobic capacity. Maybe it's a mindset class that you get your shit right, and then you just take the very thing that you just learned for yourself and like Weebus, hey, I can't tell you what to do, but in my experience, I did this XYZ thing and it helped me feel better. And now I exercise with a little bit more joy because I understand that motivation is fleeting and that consistency in this tough feeling of doing the thing actually will pay the most dividends.
Yeah, they have to do it, reap the rewards, be shown that they reaped the rewards, because most of the time they won't even feel like they have. I'm thinking of a nutrition client I have right now that I was speaking with yesterday. Did you die? Are you okay? You're okay. Here you are. I gotta put that down. That was too good. Oh man. And I stopped doing nutrition with people. So I stopped doing nutrition with people about 3 years ago because I wasn't comfortable with myself enough to ask them to let me in. And what I
Yeah.
mean by that is I made it too clinical, too macro, dosage to hit it at these times. Just do these things. It's just a checklist. All you got to do every day is check off these boxes. Just get it done. You can do this type of attitude.
Right, right,
And
right.
then I went through the pandemic and my own mental health did a 180-degree turn to the point where I was like, well, I'm out of here. See you later. This isn't a good place to be, this thing we call Earth. And I'm only saying this not to get sympathy. I'm saying this so that I can connect with somebody else that may be out there feeling the same thing. So if you're an affiliate owner and not only did you go through it during the pandemic, but you're still up here going through it, I'm with you. Reach out to me. I'm with you, brother.
Well,
Um,
let's not pretend like that there aren't how many affiliates are there? 14,000?
for almost 15, between 14 and 15 is what I always see. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't think that there's a bunch of people also struggling with the exact same things you and I struggle with? Great. I sell burpees in a living and that's how I'm going to pay my mortgage. This seems a little bit suspicious. And all those other things that come along with small business ownership, and it's talking about community centers masquerade as CrossFit gyms. And there's some really well. And there's
I'll say one thing about those community centers, masquerading as CrossFit gyms. They're great business owners.
yeah,
That's what they are. They're amazing business owners. And this is what we're talking about, the maker's time. Those
yeah.
people spent a lot of time on the maker's time. They understood the systems. They understood the way to maximize their space. Like before we came into this building, 6,200 square feet, we had almost 400 and something members. We had to expand, and then the pandemic happened and went like this. If I had more knowledge, more wisdom, and spent more time before that happened in the maker's realm, knowing that's where I should be. I didn't know that's where I should be. I'm like almost every other CrossFit affiliate owner from 2004 to 2015, where most of us were not business owners. We were passionate about it was us. CrossFit was who we were. It is who we are. And we actually despise the business side of everything, and we despise money, we despise all that. And it took me 11 years to get to the point where I don't despise money at all. In fact, I need the most that I could possibly get in order to help the most people that I possibly can,
Yeah.
which means you have to do the business things that these other companies have done to set up you ready for this? Your security. You have to have security underneath you, or else bad things happen. So
Well,
those community gyms that are functioning as a CrossFit gym. Sorry, go ahead.
how many resentful CrossFit gyms owners, affiliate owners are there
Yeah.
because one, they had the passion, but to quote Jason Fernandez, passion can have a shelf life. And being 21 and having no children, not having a mortgage over your head, being just kind of like a surf brat or a punk rocker, like matter, hand to mouth, hand to mouth. But once you need security, once you realize that you're just going to live longer by accident, uh, like there's there's work to be done to establish security, and that's where I think the next wave of CrossFit's going, where we are building community centers. We are transparent about the cost to run a community center. We are passionate about coaching and mentoring these people that come through our door and stay with us for 10, 20 years. And we just go through this magical experiment because we have I've force times distance equals work. We have an experiment on our hands. Millions and millions of people are doing it, whether or not they call themselves CrossFitters or not, and they call it functional community fitness or whatever the fuck. Uh, if we can go through this ride and execute it well, not only will the experiment, I believe, through hypothesis, prove that we are going to be the most robust people in our elderly age, right? We're going to have massive amounts of capacity, are above elite VO2 maxes. We're going to have incredibly well um, maintained skeletal structural muscles, ligaments, tendons, bone density, all of these check, 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 check. And you pair that with a diet that's kept us um, away from things like visceral fat and, you know, good hip to upper body obesity ratios and hip to pelvis ratios. Like these are all, or sorry, waist to hip ratios. These are all signs that we are going to be incredible. But if nobody that's running the community center ever has any peace of mind, and they have no friends that have their back because they're actually enemies with the person that could be most empathetic for them, the fellow
Yeah.
affiliate owner, right?
Yeah.
That's dog shit. You're saying that I could have empathy right down the street with me and coffee with a guy that we could have like-minded, or girls like-minded, convoluted, crazy ideas of the awesomeness? Like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
world, like Pinky and the Brain. You don't think there's a couple, like,
Yes.
couldn't there be a couple affiliate owners out there that one's tall and one's short and one's the lanky Legolas guy and one's the chubbier Gimli guy, and they become best friends, but they're from the elves CrossFit world and they're from the dwarfs CrossFit world, Pinky and the Brain, and they go off and, you know, try to take over the world. You can't
Yes.
you can't do that if the guy up the street for you that also was crazy enough to sell burpees for a living is uh, at odds with one another. And you
Well, that's
can't.
what I think. Most people don't realize how much they actually have in common with those people. Because if anybody's crazy enough to look at this business model, do a couple bit of math on a napkin, and go like, "Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Make pennies on the dollar. Here we go." You probably have a lot in common with that person.
Yes, and if you have a lot in common with them, how much more good can you do than by yourself? Now, I'm not saying that
Yes.
their business. You're not going to create one mega business. You're not going to create you're going to be separate entities, like our punk rock bands from last week. And it just really grinds my gears when
Mm.
affiliate owners piss on each other's parades. It
You're
just
the
fucking
best.
irritates the hell out of me.
I love you. I'm giving you a big hug right now for that transition into it really grinds my gears,
But like,
Lois. Oh my God, that's amazing.
just briefly, I want to go back to is affiliate owners get with each other. Don't just be listening to my grumpy old man voice of it. Uh,
Yeah, totally.
we always are getting together, and I'm going to do this too, for competitions. Like I'm
Yeah,
going to
totally. Yeah.
do Stockton and
Yep.
um,
I'm gonna
or
drive over to yours. I'm actually heading up north for a little bit to be a judge in one of my friend Danny Diaz's gyms. Coming up
right.
here pretty soon.
But hear me out. Let's all just take each other out for coffee. Let's go grab a beer. It's how much more good can we do as a collective? We're not a franchise. We are a bunch of affiliates, but we could have a collective of people that are doing different things and really do something very cool, because you would have regional impact instead of area impact. It wouldn't just be your little bubble. Your
Mhm.
bubble and my bubble might touch.
I
And if
feel like if we go back to your idea of breaking up the month into blocks, and you have like week 1 was the budget, week 2 is like your people, week 3 is like events and new members, week 4 could be this going and getting coffee with an affiliate member, having a Zoom call, text message. It could
engage,
start as small as that.
like,
Okay,
or
how about this? What about this?
go to mothership.
Okay, let's say you live in San Diego, Orange County, LA. So it means you got like 400 million CrossFit gyms all around you. You probably all hate each other. You got some you like. What if you just went on to the people that you quote unquote don't like Instagram, and every fourth week you just liked and commented on something that they posted, just giving them some praise and saying, "Wow, that's really cool." And all of a sudden, their defense starts to go down over the months and the years, and then maybe you guys getting coffee, or maybe not. You know what I mean? But like, what a cool way to show your character. What a cool way to show what you're trying to do with the community as well. And in a
Right?
public way too, where you're being like, hey, look, I am reaching out to other affiliates. You could look on their Instagram. Like I comment at least once a month on these people's Instagrams, trying to be this connection for people, you know? Because I think it's easy for, like, I try to connect with our affiliates around here constantly, and I get crickets constantly, but in the terms of like, not like nothing back, just like, oh, I can't do that. I don't have time. Oh, I wish I could, but, and I see that as success. I'm like, we have a relationship with our affiliates here. I could reach out to them, send them a text message, and they're going to respond to me. And it's cool if they don't have the time. I get it. I'm just happy that we can see each other in Safeway, give each other a pound, ask how the families go, and really actually care about that person and not just be the whole time going,
So like there's CrossFit HQ, and then we all go to the games, right? As many people as they can go to, right? They only sell so many tickets, and then you mingle there, and it doesn't really matter if you mingle with the CrossFit gym cordially when they're from Minnesota. And to shout out to all the Minnesota ones, but like I live in California. How like how am I going to push the needle forward for my community and expose people to CrossFit when really I feel a responsibility to drag everybody along with me. Like, hey, we can all do better. Yeah? No? Does anybody want to be the shitbag back there? No. Okay. Well, everybody, come on this way. Let's be cordial to one another. Let's be kind to one another. Let's take care of our athletes meaningfully. Let's take care of our coaches meaningfully, and then let's take care of each other. As in, like this CrossFit scene, this CrossFit.
I love this. I think that we could wrap this up with going back to like what makes CrossFit so great is the objectiveness of it, the fact that it is force times distance divided by time that gets us the results. And I think that if we can make these systems you're talking about, Brian, into blocks and have a ritual and a routine that we follow for a period of time, the same
It's a
way you follow CrossFit for a period of time. But I think what I miss out on most of the time is I don't set up a good enough data profile. So pre-test, do it, post-test, how did it go? It's more like we're just doing it. Here we are. So
same,
what I
same.
and I think that that's what I would like to leave with today is I would like to encourage all of you guys, whether you're an affiliate owner, a small business owner, which I saw the other day, by the way, 8 out of 10 small businesses fail. So if you're still a small business after the pandemic, not only are you a badass, you know, because you're within that 20% of people that actually make it through this thing, but you made it through the pandemic too, and that's like what? Or you started after the pandemic, and that's like a whole new world, and like what? So hey, good job, proud of you. But reach out to other affiliate owners, set up some systems that allow you to do that, and check in on them and refine them once a month. I am going to make um, a promise to myself to do this, to come up with, Brian, thank you so much, that 4 block system. Because I literally last night was watching Receivers. Have you seen that? It's
No,
on
no.
like ESPN. They had a couple last seasons called Quarterbacks, and like Peyton Manning was like the voice behind it, and it just followed around these few quarterbacks in their lives and what they do and everything. And now they have receivers. And I wasn't watching the receivers; I was watching the coaches. And the coaches, I noticed in Detroit, were wearing all the staff. Every single time you saw a staff member at Detroit, or even a football player, they had a shirt, a hat, a sweatshirt, some shorts on that all said just grit, grit. And I was like, that's their theme for the season. Why don't I have themes for my year, for my month, that gets people fired up, understanding what the long-term goal is, right? So it's like create a goal for your year, the same way you would create a goal for an individual that walks into your gym, and then work your way backwards to create these steps. If you don't know how to do it, reach out to Brian, he'll help you.
well, well, that's actually a really interesting idea because if you're having a hard time with measuring, with testing, measuring, testing again, looking for where adaptation formed, having a theme for a say a 9 to 12 week block is a great way to get every people along. And then when you think about CrossFit affiliates and how we are not theoretically training all of the individual people's weaknesses, you just keep people on board. Again, you're the subject matter expert. You're the leader of your little tribe. And Wes is saying, hey, I want to get better at my 2K row. And you're like, okay, well, now varied, not random, we're going to be focusing on a little bit more rowing. And now you don't think everybody else is going to get on board, even Susie was like, I just want to put on a little bit more mass. And then they're like, I just want to, like just trying to like bulk right now. They're all going to get right in line when they see all the other athletes getting better at rowing. And now they're assimilating to this new goal. And great. You know what's going to happen? You're going to get toned. You're going to get muscle growth. It's going to be in the posterior chain. You're going to do great.
Yeah.
And so, um, having that sort of like four times a year theme for your affiliate, and then having the test, the doing the thing, and the retest will create seasons to your year. And this gets right back to everybody schedules everything out 90 days. Like, what are we gonna do now, Pinky? Same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world. Do that.
Dude, that is like going to be my new theme. I love that. It's like a four-step process. What's the goal? How are we going to get there? How did we go? How did we do? And now what?
Yeah. And you get to, as the affiliate owner, say what that is. And if
Yes,
people are like, hey,
exactly.
I also like to do bench, you're like, okay, great. Now you're gonna row and bench. It sounds like you're gonna
Or
get yelled.
or or no, you're not going to bench, and here's why. Let me give you the knowledge of why. That's the important thing I think that we miss out a lot of times is we just go, hey, just listen to me. Instead of we go like, okay, here's what I think we should do based off of my knowledge, and here's why I think we should do that. What do you think? And then they go like, well, you got more knowledge than me, or maybe they're like, actually, I have knowledge in this area that you don't. Let me help you out with it. And you're like, whoa, really? I didn't know that. That's cool. Thanks. All right.
Mouth when I'm talking to you.
What's the? Yeah, you better shut your mouth when I'm talking to you. All right. Well, appreciate you, Brian. Appreciate everybody that watches this. Like the 5 people that do.
Yeah.
We're going to be putting these up consistently. I'm getting better at recording and making sure that they actually go up. And we're hoping to spread the word. So please like, subscribe. It's so weird to say this, and share with everybody
Like,
you know that could get something out of this. Make sure that it's like not you're just I'll share it. Like give it to like somebody that you're like, hey, at 2150 they started talking about motivational stuff. I think this would really help you out, Bob. Check it out.
yeah.
That's what we're talking about. So
Oh,
appreciate you guys. As always, let us know if you have anything that we can share to get the word out about your community and what you got going on. Just hit us up on the Instas, and we'll see you guys next week.
yee! Bye, guys. And then I'm staying. And then I
Oh,
stay.
if you do 2, you get
Yep.
confetti. But if you do 1, you get balloons. See you later. Stopping. We're stopping.